Hey guys, my name is Horror Corner, and this is not the new iPhone 13. And I'm not getting it because of one reason, only one reason, is this port right here. It's a Lightning port, and it's slow. How slow is it? It's using USB 2.0 technology, which is over 2 decades old. It came out in 2000, and it's slow. And it's embarrassingly slow. I can't even believe Apple would do this. We're in 2021. Here they are using the oldest technology possible. It is slower than dirt. Kid you not. And it's embarrassing because this is an iPad Pro. And it's a couple years old, 2017. Same port. But it uses USB 3.0. Okay? And which is like 10 times better and faster. This is reasonable. This is great. Actually, I love it. And that's the reason why I got the Pro. But here we are, even with the Pro version, they have the technology, right? They just don't put it in their phone. And so what that means for you is that if you want to transfer data out of your phone, it's going to be slower than molasses. So what does that translate to? Okay, you do the math. Realistically, you can only get around 40 megabytes per second, which is slow. Compared to this here, USB 3.0, same port, different technology, you can get maybe 240, maybe 300 megabytes per second. Huge difference. And right now we're using USB 4.0 technologies and other platforms, and even their new iPad has USB-C, which is using Thunderbolt, which is 40 gigabits per second. Which you do the math, realistically it comes around to around 660 megabytes per second, which is super fast, right? That's actually exceeding the write speed of the memory. That's another issue. But I'm just saying, like, Apple has this technology. They don't use it. They're being, I don't know what the word is, but like, it's embarrassing. Like, I just can't get a phone that has a beautiful, CPU, GPU, screen, everything. The camera is great. But when I want to get data out of it, and I'm stuck. I am stuck in the past to get data out. And you may be saying, Jorge, you can use Wi-Fi. Wireless is the best. It's not. It's not the best. Right? It's advertised as the best, but that's a bunch of bullshit. Let me just tell you. Because the math doesn't work out. They advertise, oh, it's 1,200 megabits per second. That's fast. Right? That's over 1 gigabit per second. We're like, what does that mean? You do the math, you translate it, you get realistic numbers. It comes down to, realistically, you might get 200 megabits per second, and you're like, but wait a minute, that's embarrassing. Like, why would you get 2 meg? Like, what? Like, how would you even get 200 megabits per second? It's like, what? That doesn't make any sense. And it's like, and then you. What is that? That's 25 megabytes per second. That's slower than USB 2.0. That's slower. That's slower. The Wi-Fi is slower than... Who would have thought? I would have thought that wireless is not going to be USB. Even this slow 20-year-old technology. Even the latest and greatest wireless, it's slower than 20-year-old technology. And there's lots of reasons why, and I can't explain all of them. But the point is that wireless is slow. Okay? The numbers people tell you, they're lies. And no one says like, oh, they're lies. They just say it's the best. It's a gigabit. And they give you all these acronyms. It's like, yeah, these are all theoretical. They're not real. They're not real. It's like your speedometer. Yeah, this car can go 200 miles per hour. Yeah, it could, but it's never going to reach that. It ain't never going to reach that. You ain't never going to reach 100 miles per hour before you're like, okay, this is scary. I can't go further. Like, that's not going to happen, right? Realistically, you're going to be in that range, that low range. Even though your car can go, let's say 700 miles per hour, you're never going to hit 700. You're going to be in that low range. Never going to, reach that limit. And it's embarrassing because wireless, it depends how far you are from the router, right? This is under the best. If your router's right here and you have it here, you're going to get the maximum of 200 megas per second or 25 meg. That's the fastest you can get. Okay? That's not good. Like, this is not realistic. more realistic numbers will be even lower, you know? And so you may be wondering, like, why is it so slow? It's slow because the wireless is slow, the USB is slow, everything else is fast. And to me, this is just an embarrassing for Apple to even release such a product that uses all these high bandwidth data to record, to take great pictures, but then you're limited with this stupid port right here. And no one says nothing about it. And you're not going to know unless you get a phone. You take all these photos, all these video, and you're like, yeah, I want to transfer this data out. And you're like, damn, why is it taking so damn long? Because you have an I/O issue, input-output issue. All this data is stuck in here. It's just stuck in there. And you're trying to get it out, and it's a whole lot of data. And you're limited by this port here. And you're limited by the Wi-Fi. And Apple could fix it. Heck, they have fixed it 4 years ago. But they're not fixing it for the new iPhone. And so that's a huge problem that no one has even mentioned. Like, oh, by the way, the new iPhone has this issue where your data is stuck. It's in gel. It's in iPhone gel. And iPhone has the technology to release the data, to change the port to USB-C. Okay, maybe you don't want to change to USB-C. You can use Lightning and use USB 3.0. They have the technology. They can put it in there, and then now you don't have an I/O issue because you can get the data out at a reasonable speed. And I say reasonable, I mean the speed that was acceptable 10 years ago. Not right now, 10 years ago. That's how technology works. It's been out for a while, and then it gets eventually used. So this technology has been out 10 years ago. This actually is 20 years, right? So like Apple has the technology, and it's just, that's all I want to say about this video is that Apple, fix your issue with the port. Like, there's no reason why you can have the fastest car possible, but then you set the throttle down to limit to 100 miles per hour. It's like, no, like I bought this phone to be fast. I didn't buy this phone to be slow, to be capped, you know. And we're talking about dollars here. Like the cost to implement the chipset to use USB 3.0, like we're talking dollars here. We're talking $4 or $5 for getting that chip, the USB 3.0 chip, and put it in there. It's not like they haven't done it. They've done it. It'll cost them $3. To me, that's insignificant. They could do it. They just don't want to. That's what's, you know, infuriating here. Is like they can do it. They just don't do it. They just don't want to. And so it's like, wow, like how long are people going to be with this issue? And I'm sure this year people are going to find out when you get the new iPhone 13. Oh, everything is great. I take great photos. I take great video. But when I want to get the data out, I'm stuck. I'm stuck in gel. Apple gel. And so for that reason and only that reason alone, I can't upgrade. And I'm probably not going to be able to upgrade next year either because they're probably going to have the same problem. Unless you guys, the consumer, complain to Apple and say, hey, why don't you upgrade that 20-year-old technology to something more modern? Because we know you could. We know you physically could. Just saying. Just saying. All right, thank you guys.